Today's topic is super important. Times are a-changing. You have to keep up with technology or you're going to be left in the dust. To stay viable, you have to stay on the cutting edge. And that means you have to stay up with technology. In this episode, we're going to be talking about why mass texting, how I use mass texting for lead generation, how to build a list using mass texting, what the cost considerations are, and who might offer the best mass texting platform. Stay with us. We're going to cover all these points in just 1 second. Why mass texting? It's really pretty simple. 96% of the people that receive a text read it, and they almost all read it immediately. It's quite possible to get immediate responses when mass texting. Try that in an email. Ain't gonna happen. In today's technology, I'm using a platform that allows me to know when someone's calling my phone number. Not only does it allow me to know when they call my phone number, they can give me the phone number they're calling from if it's a cell phone. So, how I do lead generation can be tied around that technology. Imagine if you had an ad with a recorded message in a magazine, on a billboard, anywhere, and people called it, and then you got notified someone from this number is listening to your message that was in your ad in Texas Magazine. There's a lead right there. Someone's engaged right now, this very second. They're listening to your recording from your ad, and you have their phone number. This is killer technology. The platform I use will sell me individual phone numbers for like $2 a piece per month. Nothing. I can use a different phone number for every different ad or every different kind of sign. I can actually do A/B testing because I can take one number and put it on this sign, and then I can try to find the same buyer but use a different sign and put a different number on that, and I can tell you which sign's getting the most calls because every phone number that I buy has a text distribution list attached to it, and every time someone calls one of my special phone numbers, their cell phone number is put into that text distribution list. Provided, of course, they call from their cell phone. This technology has really changed the way that I market. I have 9 days on the market for my houses over the last 300 units. 9 days on the market. I have over 20,000 people that have called my bandit signs wanting to know when will the next owner-financed house become available and when can I look at the pictures and read about it. 20,000 people. So all I do when I have a new house come up, I send a text to 20,000 people, say, here's a house I have for sale with owner financing. Let me know if you want to look at it. They've already raised their hand and told me they're interested. So for 2 cents, it's a direct bullseye. They've already told me they're interested in what I have to offer. And I'm able to contact them for 2 cents, a direct hit. You don't get any better than that. How do you build lists? Like in my industry, a lot of people have this prized possession, their cash buyers list. How would I build a cash buyers list? Let me use that as an example. I would go and I'd make signs that say $250,000 house for sale for $135,000 cash. And then I put a LiveComm phone number there. Then I put my special phone number at the bottom, that one that will capture the cell phone caller's cell phone number. I'll forward that special number to a recording, and the recording will say, unfortunately, this house has been sold, but I will text you next time I have another wholesale opportunity. Because all I was really interested in was the phone call to the special number that captures the phone number. Because we're going to assume that anyone who's calling from that sign either A, has $135,000 cash, or B, knows where they can get their hands on $135,000 cash. That's why it's called a cash buyers list. But we let the signs do all the work. I put up 200, 300 signs around San Antonio, population 2 million. Within a month or two, I have 3,000, 4,000 people that have called that sign. And now I have a cash buyers list. And when I really do have a wholesale opportunity, I can text them about it for 2 cents per person. I'm taking someone who's raised their hand and said that they're interested, and I can text them for 2 cents per person and hit them with exactly the information they want to get from me. And that's how I build lists. So what should you expect to pay when you sign up with a mass texting platform? I did the research on a lot of different companies. I didn't like the cost that they were charging. So I co-founded LiveComm.com with some developers. I made it at a price point that I thought was affordable and that even I wanted to spend the money on. It's about $30 a month for a subscription. It's $2 per phone number. It's 2 cents per minute if you forward the special phone number to a recording, or it's 2 cents per text if you send out a mass text to some recipients. It's 2 cents per recipient. It's very cheap. It's stupid cheap. You know, I needed about 5,000 texts to go out to sell my houses. I have 20,000 people that want to know the next time I have an owner-financed house. I don't even send it to the whole 20,000 people because I only need to send it to the first 5,000, and I usually sell it because 5,000 people who are looking for my kind of house usually gets the job done. But if I don't have any interested people in a couple of days, then I send out to the second 5,000. And then if I don't, I send out to the third 5,000. I don't send out to the whole 20,000 at one time because I'm just looking for one person. So here's another interesting way I use mass texting. I have all these people that have raised their hand and said, next time you have a house for sale with owner financing, will you please send me a text? Of course, they're on my list, 20,000 people. So my salesman gets a call and he's supposed to show the house at 6 o'clock this evening. He's going to get in his car and he's going to drive clear across town to show one person that house. I wonder if I can get more than one person over there. So at 2 o'clock, I send out a mass text to 20,000 people who have also raised their hand and said, I want to know next time you have an owner finance house for sale. And so when my salesman gets there at 6 o'clock, there's 15 people in the front yard, plus the one that he's supposed to meet. There's 17 people there. Do you think he sold the house? Do you think he got a better down payment because there were 16 people interested and they were all looking at each other? It kind of created a competition thing. I mean, he had a lot of people ask him, so how do we know who's going to get the house? If we all want the house, or if 5 of us want the house, who's going to get the house? You know, I trained him in his answer. I don't know, maybe the person with the most down payment. I don't know, I'll have to talk to the owner. But he planted that seed. Maybe the person with the biggest down payment. I got better than the 10% we were asking. I'm averaging 12 and 15% now on houses depending on what part of town because I'm generating competition using just that technique. Check out mass texting. LiveComm.com is the platform that I suggest, but I want to be fully transparent. I'm a co-founder of it. I made LiveComm do things that the other platforms didn't do. I was in the house selling, house buying business. I had certain things I wanted it to do. Other platforms didn't do that. And other platforms were just charging more than I wanted to pay. I looked into it. I called some of my developer friends. They said it was a good idea. They said they wanted in. We built it. LiveComm.com. Check it out. There's lots of videos, lots of help, lots of strategies. It's LiveComm.com. They're also a sponsor of this YouTube channel. There are 3 fundamentals of the house buying and selling business. A, you got to find a house. B, you got to find the money to buy the house. And C, you got to sell the house. Private money and learning to raise private money is one of the most important things you'll ever do. So please go to 1000houses.com/free-stuff and scroll down the page until you see the private money webinar. Watch that webinar. I can help you learn to raise private money. I went through a lot of trial and error to develop exactly what works. And I can save you the time and trouble. I can just show you what's working and how it works and why it works, and you can go right to it. I've raised over $26 million that's out on the street right now. Did you get that? I owe a payment on the 1st of this month for $26 million on the private money that I've borrowed and have out on the streets right now. I do know what I'm doing. I can show you what I do and how I do it. It's not that complicated.